Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome back to more Everlasting Summer, where last time we met our friend, mystery Catgirl person, and let's find out more about her. Alright, so the flashlight flickered. Terrified, I started to bang it with my fist. Oh man, all of a sudden she's gone. When the light lit back up, the girl wasn't there. I don't know who or what she is, but it seemed like she could help me find the answers. It's the strangest thing, but I wasn't scared of her. I just felt that this girl wouldn't do me any harm. But now I must find Shurik. I have a feeling that this is not the last time I will meet this girl. I don't know why, but I'm sure about it. Around one last turn, a door appeared from the darkness. I opened it and went inside a small room. Nobody was here except Shurik, who sat in the corner. I don't know who else you expected. Maybe the Catgirl. Yeah, sure. Shurik! He stared at me with eyes full of terror. Ah! Don't come near me. Shurik, it's me, Semyon. I won't give up so easily. He grabbed a piece of a reinforced bar from behind his back and started waving it around. Shurik, what's wrong with you? Calm down. First you bring me here, then you take me through this mine. Now you're pretending to be Semyon? You must have gone completely nuts. Shurik, calm down. Nobody's pretending to be me. I really am me. I tried to talk as calmly as I could, but I was almost feeling more nervous than him. Semyon? He squinted. Is that really you? Yes. Now tell me what happened. How did you get here? Shurik recovered his breath and started to talk. I needed some parts for the robot, and I heard that there is a bomb shelter in the old camp and stuff like that I've read before. Found suitable parts. The voices, they told me to go here, went down the mine. Then they were telling me to go right, then left, then right, then left, then right, then left. He started to laugh hysterically. But now they won't get me. I'm sitting here, or I'll stay sitting here. They won't find me here. He once again started to wave his pipe in the air. Shurik, there's no one there. I wasted a lot of time walking in a mine like you, but I didn't hear any voices. I wonder if Semyon, that is gonna reveal anything about that, the Catgirl. He fixed his eyes on me. Then you're with them. And yeah. Shurik rushed towards me. I was just barely able to dodge him. But the flashlight wasn't as lucky and took the full force of Shurik's blow. We found ourselves in complete darkness. Now it was my turn to lose my mind. What have you done, you idiot? I lashed out with my hand in the direction where I expected Shurik to be, but to no avail. Now we will both die here. I got nothing but silence in return, then a quiet hysterical laughter. It's alright, that's fine. I know exactly where the okay, he's like not crazy anymore. I know exactly where the exit is, follow me. Sure, man, you just tried to kill me, but hey, I'll follow you, I have nothing better to do. Follow you where? I can't see a damn thing. Follow my voice. Ooh, creepy. Because it's the voices, right? I had no other choice. Here. Oh, what if the girl is somehow, like, able to, like, I'm guessing the girl, the mystery cat girl, right, was the voices, was the voice, or were the voices? I don't know. He says voices, I don't know, that Shurik was following, so I'm wondering if she can, like, mimic Shurik and, like, get me to follow her deep into her lair. She'll, like, seduce me, right? That's the point of this. Shurik's voice was heard from somewhere further on. How do you know where to go? I walked all over here. Then why didn't you leave? The voices. Quiet. They'll hear us. In theory, I could believe that there are some supernatural forces here. In the Sovionok camp, they'd just be a daily occurrence. But there is no reason to panic yet. Though my hands were shaking nonstop. Here. I slowly followed his voice and eventually lost track of time. We could have been roaming for a few minutes, or a few hours. Finally, a dim light appeared in the distance. We're here. We reached the wall. The way towards freedom was blocked by a lattice on the ceiling. I pulled myself up and recognized the square from bits of landscape I could see. Lift me up. Shurik obediently followed my request. I started to hit the grating with my fist so hard that in just a few strikes my arms were all covered in blood. But in return, the grating gave way and pushed open, even though last time it opened down, right? Comrade. A minute later, we were out on the surface behind the monument of Genda. When I saw this grating before, I had no idea that there would be or could be catacombs below it. They will come for you. I fell to the ground, exhausted. Who? They will come, said Shurik again, and ran away. I was so exhausted that I could not even be bothered to think about some voices, or recalling the Forsaken Camp, the bomb shelter, or the mine. Almost unconscious, I reached the camp leader's cabin, but couldn't go to bed right away. Well, look who's here, Olga Dmitryevna. I started tiredly, attempting to cut the explanation to a minimum. You said you were going for a walk, and indeed, I've read this before, so let's go ahead and just make sure nothing. Yep. And then that girl from the mine appeared just before my eyes. I saw her so clear, it was as if she was really in front of my bed. Oh, and the secret is she actually is! Maybe. No, I'm just seeing things. But still, why didn't I get scared back then? I just went and spoke to her normally, just like that. It's because of her enticing cat ears, right? And her figure. I'm going to say it's because of her figure. All the answers are here. The cat-eared girl knows something for sure. Maybe I was too exhausted because of the old camp, mine, and labyrinth, and my nerves were stretched to breaking. I should have asked her about something, but I still have time. I wonder if we're going to go back down there in hopes of running into her again. Oh. Okay. So I guess we're skipping forward. That was like day... Was that day 4? Am I just skipping ahead now? It's interesting how seemingly simple events can affect a person. I don't think I've heard this music before either, so I'm trying to listen to it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've heard this music before, so maybe something new and exciting is going to happen. For example, there are such widespread occurrences of OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, among children, where when you walk on the road, you have to step on the tiles precisely, avoiding the cracks. Seems like nothing special, but if one doesn't get rid of it in time, just forgotten, or forcing oneself to step over the tiles, it could become a really big problem in the future. For instance, one will only stare down and will get hit by a car. I never had anything like OCD, but minor events in my life often led to major troubles. Really, what's wrong with meeting a strange girl with cat ears in a pioneer camp on the edge of time and space, or possibly even between the worlds? Doesn't seem like a big deal. Although perhaps I just got used to thinking that nothing really exciting or nothing really existed for me before this week. There was only this camp and this life. That's why something like a Catgirl was just par for the course in this wonderland. She's just another character in this play. I thought it was a movie, man. In this play, neither better nor worse than any other. But somewhere deep in my soul, I knew that wasn't so. All the camp inhabitants seemed normal, sometimes even too normal, with absolutely nothing remarkable about them. Jeez. You could even say that my life here was simply boring. And now... back in the camp? Alright, well, I'm not sure why I went to day ... But okay. My head was about to burst with thoughts, so I opened my eyes and jumped out of bed. The camp leader's cabin was the same as usual. Outside the window, a bird monotonously cheeped, trying to burst the capillaries in my eyes with her singing. The clock showed 11 a.m. Why didn't Olga Dmitrievna wake me up? Though, who cares? I slept enough, at least. However, I didn't feel like I fully recovered. The whole world was seemingly laughing at me, the bright sun outside, the lightly blowing breeze gently whispering to the crowds of trees, and this nasty bird had brought some fellows with her, obviously trying to ruin my mental stability. The water from the washstands was ice cold as usual. While washing my face, I realized I'd forgotten my... Oh, is this reused material again? Strange, I didn't forget my head. Couldn't imagine a worse start to the day. At that moment, I thought it was the worst day of all that I had spent in this camp. Although there wasn't a lot of choices, little more than 100 hours, not enough time to get the full image of a new home. This word struck my mind painfully. Do I have to stay here forever? But why? How? What for? I helplessly sat on the grass and buried my face in hands. Not my hands, mind you, just other hands I just found, on the ground in the grass. And I'm gonna guess that Catgirl's gonna show her face again. Suddenly I remember that girl. I wonder how many more fantastic characters I will meet here. A wonderful day, isn't it? Oh. Is it that dude again? I couldn't even be bothered to raise my head. Yeah, couldn't be any better. I answered, keeping the same pose. Why so sarcastic? Sarcastic? I was surprised to looked up, but there was nobody nearby. Is it my imagination? No, I heard that for sure. Maybe I'm losing my mind. That underground mine, Shurik, voices, the Catgirl, more voices. Is there anything that here I can be sure about? Bam. I thought I got punched or bumped into. I punched the washstand painfully hard and immediately jumped up, holding my hand and cursing. Damn it. Hey. What's up? Suddenly somebody walked out of the bushes in front of me. Or something. Hi. It was the girl from yesterday. Hi? I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to expect from her. She's probably a hell beast and came here to end my life. Oh, she's the bear. No, not really. That is, of course, only if it hasn't ended already. Catgirl stared at me. Wait, hold on. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, would she be the voice that maimed me or something? Cause I'm trying to think back to so you remember that thing that I was talking about, that Catgirl thing with the knives that had it was all dark and shadowy and with the red eyes that I keep talking about. It was that flashed on the screen day, I think it was on the first day, right? I'm curious because she's a Catgirl, and that shadowy figure I'm pretty sure was a Catgirl. I've been thinking in the last 5 or so minutes about that apple that we ate, and how eating that apple is what you need to do in order to trigger, going down this girl's route. I'm curious, is it a magical apple where if I eat it, it's I can see her or something? Or something along those lines. Just because, what if she, because if she is the voices in the forest, whatever, was come towards me, because in the very beginning of the game, right, it's follow or don't follow, before we even get to the actual pioneer stuff, just that dream that we start off with, and at the end in Semyon's bad ending, right, I think they said the voices were either follow it into the forest, or leave it and go back to the the bus, right, when we're getting ready to leave. I'm curious if you eat the apple, does that somehow make her friendly to you? And so she's actually that voice, and she's actually that shadowy figure that with the knives or whatever. So if you don't eat the apple, she hates you because, I don't know, you didn't eat her apple, so she kills you at the end. Or if you do eat the apple, then she's hey, he's a nice guy, he ate my apple, that's awfully civil of him, and she doesn't kill you. So I don't know, just throwing that out there. Catgirl stared at me. It hurts. Oh, that's a kind of funny pose. I like how her hair is all flaring out. What happened? I punched the washstand, right? It's it hurts? She looked at my hand. Yes, I answered timidly. Then why? Why what? Why did you punch it? Because I was angry. I was completely unsure how I should talk to her. Perhaps one wrong word, phrase, or gesture could be fatal to me, like not eating the apple. Angry at who? But the girl wasn't showing any signs of aggression. It seemed that she was just wondering what was happening. At myself. I see. She smiled faintly. Listen, I don't know how should I put it. I don't know how I should put it. Sounds like a better order of those words. But I must ask. I kept silent for a moment, gathering myself. Who are you? The girl looked at me blankly. That's kind of a funny face. I'm me, of course. She said confidently. No doubt about that, but how should I say it? You don't just meet a human with cat ears and tail every day, you know. The Catgirl carefully examined the aforementioned parts of her body and asked. I asked who she is, not what she is. So I'm not sure why he's expecting her to answer what she is in that sense, right? Why? I was totally confused. If, in the first few minutes I thought it was necessary to be afraid, to be very careful, now she seems more like a good spirit than a hostile monster. Because in my world, I was absolutely convinced that I shouldn't hide anything from her. In my world, this only happens in fairy tales. What is a fairy tale? Well, it's a story which cannot happen in reality. So, I don't really exist? I feel like the art style kind of changed with her eyes. Like, I don't know. The girl laughed. I'm not even sure that I exist, but I can touch you, so you exist. Wink. Just thinking about the fact that she will touch me. Wink. I felt uncomfortable. Semyon, such a virgin. Just kidding, of course. Right, because we know Semyon. He's slept 5 girls so far, so... Or, no, sorry, 4. Because, one's underage, so... Yeah. Well, let's say I exist. Yes. I step back. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I felt like the eyes were slightly different style, but... never mind. Goody goody. Wait, what? Well, let's say I exist. Yes, I step back. Goody goody. The girl smiled and waved her tail. There was an awkward silence. All the time I spent in this camp, I lived as if in a dream. Sometimes when you sleep, you realize that everything that happens in your brain is just a figment of your imagination, and you need just to wish. I thought so for the last 5 days. This thought constantly existed somewhere deep in my soul. However, it seems that everything is happening in reality. At least, I couldn't just wake up. I just want to understand. What? The girl was still smiling. How I got here, and how to get out of here. And she disappears. Suddenly I heard voices by the roadside, so I turned around, and she disappears when you turn around. Slavia and Xenia were slowly approaching the washstands, but the girl had disappeared. Did you see it? Just, like I just needed someone to confirm the existence of this creature. Then I can convince myself that I'm not going crazy. What an irony, to go mad while in the land of Oz. Though, just arriving here is already a ticket to the loony bin. And even if I wake up right now, I still wouldn't be sure still wouldn't be sure that it was all a dream. See what? The girls looked at me blankly. Anyone beside me? Or anyone beside me? I could hardly speak. So, an illusion, huh? So I'm actually... you should get your head examined, seriously. Xenia snorted and passed by. Slavia smiled apologetically and hurried after her. So it's all that simple? I wanted just one thing now, for someone in this nightmare to believe that I am still staying. This whole camp and its pioneers did not seem as real as yesterday. In the end, less than a week ago, I lived the completely normal life of an ordinary man of his time, and now, maybe everything that happened made me think that all is going the way it should? That it's normal just to exist here. And now the crazy leftovers of my common sense desperately clung to this cat-like girl with the ears, trying to prove that to the locals that I'm not crazy. See, you don't exist, you. It's me in your tail, not you in mine. My head was about to explode, if not for the signal for dinner. Wow, really? Really now. It was 11 a.m., we went to the washstand, and all of a sudden it's dinner now. That was a long time we spent chatting with this chick, and not really, talking to her at all. Perhaps I would have to run to the library, searching for medical books with lobotomy instructions. The canteen was crowded as usual. Some things never change. For the first time, I looked at the local pioneers from a slightly different angle. Indeed, why is everything so correct? As if someone created this pioneer camp by carefully compiling materials from the internet without bothering to visit such a place himself. It was just like an old Soviet movie. The strict camp leader, exemplary pioneer. She's not really that strict. I mean, kind of, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of leniency in the things that... She lets you do stuff, but then she, scolds you for it. She doesn't just prevent you from doing it. Even Olyana. And even Alyssa. All within the normal range. So where does that strange girl come from? She seems like a smear of paint that just happened to be on the picture due to the shaky hand of a sloppy restorer. Electronic suddenly sat beside me. Hey there. He smirked. Hey. What are you thinking about? Just. There was absolutely nothing wrong with speaking openly to anyone. I like how, like, no one even cares that Shirk is back now. It's all cool. Not anymore. Did you happen to see anyone strange here? Strange? Well, not quite human. I don't really understand. Electronic laughed. A girl with cat ears and a tail, I said shortly. A girl with ears and a tail? He began to think. How do you know about her? Ooh. Well, let's assume I saw her. This conversation was starting to get interesting. Let's assume, or you actually did. Is it really important? Electronic stared at me seriously. There's a legend here about a cat girl. She steals food, small bits and pieces of stuff, and avoids people. Okay, I can see that, but she gave me an apple. At least I presume. Really? A legend? So what does this cat girl look like? I never saw her myself. They say that she has tails and ears, as you described. What else? Well, this legend is old, and I don't know much about it. So, do you think? Who do you think knows more? Ask Olga Dmitrovna. She's been in this camp many times, even before she became a camp leader. All right, thanks. I stood up and went to find the camp leader. I bet she decided to take a nap after lunch, even though it was dinner. Right? I was going to say, lunch makes a lot more sense than dinner, but... Or is this one of those things where, like, in different regions of the world, like the meal you eat in the evening, like, usually 6 to 7, I'll say, 5 to 7, let's get that out of range. In the afternoon, or in the PM, we'll say, supper or dinner, right? I call it dinner. I think supper is supposed to be something else. Like, dinner is supposed to be, like, evening. Supper is like I don't know, it's like a 4 o'clock meal or something, or is that like tea time? I don't even know. But I'm pretty sure it said dinner. Anyways. Perhaps Olga Dmitrovna was the only element that was somewhat out of place in the picture of an ideal camp. She certainly was not a role model camp leader. I opened the door and confidently entered the cabin. Indeed, she was lying on the bed, reading a book, as expected. Semyon, slacking again? Actually, yes, but anyway. I want to ask you something. Ask you something. She stared at me, and I hesitated a little. Maybe I shouldn't be so straightforward about everything. It was like my internal firewall had triggered, and I just could not tell the camp leader that I had seen the cat girl today. New music too, I think, maybe. Maybe I got quite used to hinting at something, avoiding strict questions, lying and keeping words back. In just 4 days. Although, I guess I'd been doing that my whole life. Olga Dmitrovna, I was at the dinner. Okay, so yeah, he did call it dinner, except it was called a lunch at some other point too. Yeah, after lunch. Spoke with Electronic, and he told me a legend about a cat girl that supposedly lives here. He also said that you would know more. Why do you need to know about that, or know that? The camp leader gave me a piercing look and stood up. Just curious. I like stuff like this. I tried to smile, but it didn't seem to make things any better. I don't know why, but I was just thinking, like, how old is Olga? Because the cat girl, she had brown hair, right? And Olga kind of has, I guess it's more of a reddish brown. But I was just thinking, what was that? I think it was what's the guy's name? Miyazaki? Like the film about the wolf children? I can't remember. About the lady who had like relations with this wolfman guy, and then her kids were like half wolf, and well, half wolf person, half person. Don't exactly remember how that thing worked out, but what if this girl is her daughter? That was just a fun fact. I don't think, or not a fun fact, but a fun thought. I don't think that's the case, but that's what I was thinking about. I tried to smile, but it didn't seem to make things any better. You have a completely normal camp. Sure you do. Completely normal. Don't even want to imagine what you'd call unusual. I suppose something with zombies and maniacs. Hey, we had that. Zombies and maniacs. Boom. A Nightmare on Sovionok Street. I thought you called it the Pioneer chainsaw massacre last time, but okay. Is it also, I was gonna make a Friday the 13th or a Halloween reference, but those don't really seem to work very well, and those are the only horror franchises that I know. Oh, there's Saw, but that's just Saw, right? You can't really know. Yes, I understand, but Electronic said that you visited this place before. Yes. The camp leader was thinking about something. However, there is indeed a legend. That somewhere in the surrounding woods, a strange Catgirl lives, sometimes stealing food and small items from cabins. She's afraid of people and sometimes and if someone accidentally sees her, she runs away. That was quite different from what I saw this morning. That girl was more like watching me, studying, trying to understand, but not afraid at all. It's probably because she, given what we saw in Semyon's endings, there's these other pioneers that are not like local people, right? Maybe she's like watching, because she knows we're not normal in that regard. Therefore, she's trying to study us. That's why she's interested in me. And you, have you seen her? Olga Dmitryevna interrupted me. No, I haven't, but wait, what? Come again? Wait, what happened? So it said, Semyon says, and you. Then Olga asks, have you seen her? And then it says, Olga Dmitryevna interrupted me. So so it's like, and you, and I was going to say something else, but then she interrupted with, have you seen her? And then it goes to Olga saying, no, I haven't, but I was quite close to doing so several times. That kind of seems a little weird to me. Bottles, milk, tooth powder, and plenty of other things disappeared from my cabin sometimes. Oh, no, that's me. My bad. Your underwear, too? Matches? That's still all me. Mysteriously disappeared without a trace. I had completely forgotten about the fact that all the pioneers here do not actually exist and just listened attentively to the camp leader. I was curious where this stuff disappeared to before, but in the end there's no evidence of her existence. She smiled as if implying that this conversation is over. And if there was, why are you so interested in this? Who wouldn't be interested in stuff like this? Though I still had many things to rack my brains for. I don't know. The camp leader thought about something for a second and then returned to her usual mother of all camps state. Well, it seems like you've decided to become completely laid back. Do something already. She paused and stretched herself in such a way that wrinkles that shouldn't even be there at her age came out. Go on, get down to business. I just sighed and went out. All in all, no one from among the pioneers has ever seen a cat-eared girl. They'd only heard legends. Well, I should probably find her. I'd already recovered from this morning's shock event, and existential thoughts have by now stopped pressuring my brain, so it was possible for me to take a reasonable position, more or less. It was necessary because I still had lots of questions. How did I get here? For what reason? Why? And where is this here? And the Catgirl is the catalyst for it all. But I didn't want to start theorizing about parallel worlds, aliens, experiments, and the afterlife again. Really? When did you theorize about the afterlife? I was fed up. I was fed up with this after just my few hours in this camp. Perhaps I just need to put aside the theories and look at the physical reality. Even if I assume that this world exists regardless of my will, and I have to live here, my arrival here is inexplicable. And I don't think I've heard this piano medley or song, whatever it's score. I'm not a music person. I don't think I've heard this song before. It's actually kind of calming. It's classic. It's more worthwhile to concentrate on studying this world and on analyzing possible events which may happen to be here, or may happen to me here. Okay. I'll do that until the opposite is proven. Until then, let's assume that I'm stuck here for the long haul, if not forever. The deck chair melodiously squeaked. Melodiously I don't know if that's... I didn't know that was a word. You can add the adjective, adverb endings to it. That's cool. Squeaked with my every movement. Lilac branches tried to strike me in the face, and the vile morning birds were silent for a long time, appearing tired of the summer heat. The treetops seemed like sharp peaks of the high walls of a medieval castle, lost in the boundless woods. And these cabins, the square, Genda's monument, the clubhouse building, are just a little village of peasants huddling near the millennial walls of a grim fortress hidden in a grove. And all of us here, either people like me or Catgirls, I like how before they were hyphenating it and now they just have it as a single word, are just servants of an evil genius hiding out somewhere, or hiding somewhere out there. It would be much easier if the camp was on top of a hill, because 1,000 years ago the best place for the fortification was always somewhere up high. Probably that someone just has nothing to be afraid of. But in that case, he would not hide so carefully behind the treetops. I sighed and closed my eyes. My consciousness slowly started to desert me, and soon the whole world faded into darkness. Hey, what's this? Uh-oh. What's going on? Getting a picture slideshow. And again, before my eyes, like an endless carpet, the road surrounded by woods and fields goes on forever. Or goes on. Goes ever on. The bus is going somewhere, leaving behind everything I knew, loved, and hated. An unfamiliar girl is leaning over me and gently whispering something in my ear. Ah, okay, I see. I'm actually interested in what she's saying, but I can't hear her. I'm just watching everything from the side and can see everything except her face, and hear everything except her words, and feel everything except my own life. I woke up feeling like I was suffocating and began greedily sucking in air. My breath soon went back to normal, and an intolerable thirst came upon me. But what was that dream all about? And who was that girl? These questions again. Maybe I've already died and gone to hell. Can a human being feel that his life is now over and that he can just move on to the next stage of existence? My head was about to explode due to such cosmic thoughts. What did I do to deserve this? I'm just an ordinary guy, not a philosopher, not a theologist, not a scientist, and I don't want to understand the substance of things, the way of the universe. I'm not asking for any more than just to live my life peacefully and then doze off into an eternal sleep when everything is over. But no, I'm just trapped here. Tears of frustration welled in my eyes, and why is it always like this? I started to think that if I gave it any more thought, I would either understand the substance of all things or go insane for good. Ultimately, it all started with a bus. I got in, went to sleep, and there was a girl. Perhaps one of the local pioneers, maybe even the cat-eared one. Well, why not? I can't rule a single idea out. So I'm here now. My thoughts stopped. Tumbleweed rolled back and forth in my brain, bouncing around the organ which kept my ears from falling off. And that's all. Now I'm here, in hell, heaven, purgatory, or whatever. Looks like I'm going to spend the rest of eternity in this place. For some reason, I've fixated on this exact theory. It's strange that I didn't care about the fact that a spiritual being doesn't have basic human senses: sight, hearing, touch. All in all, at first glance, there was nothing different about me from my condition a week ago. Well, except for being a couple years younger. Then, what's so bad about what happened? I might even consider this a second chance. After all, it's not that hard to get a job. I could rent a room in a hostel. I'm 17 now. I'm still healthy. My brain is in excellent state. That's questionable. My energy is at its peak. I might try to achieve something, but what had prevented me from doing so before? Was I really that old back then? I jammed like an old rifle, and without outside help, I wouldn't have escaped the cycle of self-reflection. Fortunately, Lena soon appeared by the camp leader's cabin. Hi. I raised my eyes reluctantly and stared through her for a few seconds. Hello. She stopped, looked away, and blushed. Well, never mind. May I have a seat? Sure. Lena perched herself on the edge of a deck chair. What are you thinking about? Trying to understand the laws of this world. And how's it going? She asked seriously. Not too good. Perhaps they're beyond human comprehension. Then maybe you shouldn't bother? But what should I do? I just have to... Why? And really, why? Does it happen to be of some vital urgency? I didn't really bother thinking about things like that in the past and lived in relative peace. And what has changed so drastically now? I won't think about it now either, and we'll be living in somewhat different conditions. But what's wrong with that? If there is no choice, I don't know. It seems that nothing is up to me. It looked like Lena wanted to say something, but she didn't. And you probably came to see Olga Dmitrievna? Yes. I mean, no. But, to be honest, what is it? Sometimes I feel that way too. What do you mean? That nothing is up to me? I looked at her attentively. She was sitting with downcast eyes, nervously toying with a handful of field flowers. They were yellow, like the fervent rays of the summer sun. Well, you know, these flowers, for instance, they were growing just for the sake of it, and then I ripped them out of the ground, and that's all. She was literally about to start crying. It didn't really fit my picture of Lena. Well, yeah. To be honest, I really don't know what to say. Well, so are we. We are ripped out, and then... She got up abruptly and rushed in the direction of the square without saying goodbye. Oh, great, we made a girl cry. Indeed, Lena, like all the other pioneers, seemed to be real. Not a figment of my imagination, not a doll, not an NPC. A few hours ago, I was sure that I'm the only one who exists here. And possibly that Catgirl. I wish I could find her. I'm in a state of something like spiritual deprivation. All my senses are working properly, but I still have a painful need to know why I am here. As if the need for identity to find my place in this world, to determine its nature, laws, and mechanisms have become vital, just like the need for food and rest. It is probably the worst punishment for a human to have the delight of to understand something, but not the ability, to wish to change something, but not have the opportunity, to strive for something, but to be unable to achieve it. I never seriously thought before, why am I in a world, or in the world? Why am I in the world? How much time will I spend here? What do I have to do? And what will come next? Now, after encountering this other world, I have nothing left but to think about these. Now, after encountering this world, I have nothing left but to think about these things, these topics, these ideas. I don't know. We'll never know. I guess that if it is possible to escape from here, I will return to my quiet life where I don't have such troubles. But I won't return. It's so hard to face a task which cannot be completed. If I choose my fates, I would never agree to this bus, this camp, these girls. I would stay there in my apartments with 2 Ps, in front of the monitor. You can't demand anything more from a person than he can do. It's better to spend the rest of your life working in the mine than trying to understand something that just won't fit in your head. After all, there is no other way. Of course, it is possible to make a valiant effort to try not to think, to try to accept this reality and start a new life. But it is not part of human nature to neglect everything that's happening around. That happens around you. If I was accused of a crime which I had not committed, of course I would try to resist to prove my innocence. No one would agree to live in jail instead of at home, whatever their home is like. That's not true. Some people go to jail because they get health insurance, and it's actually better for them to go to jail than to live without being in jail. Yeah, because like I said, health insurance, at least in the U.S. And now it's me who was thrown from the world I was used to, and now it's me who was thrown from the world I was used to into this jail. Though it is boundless, though there are no walls or bars on the windows, it is still jail. I did not ask for this, and my only desire for now is to return back home. And the only key out of here is hung just a little higher than I can reach with a jump. And there is nothing helpful around. No chair, no stool, not even a small stone that could be put under my feet. And no one to help me. A few centimeters, just a few centimeters separating me for freedom from realizing everything. Maybe it's impossible to return back home, but at least I'll be able to escape from this jail. That is exactly what I wanted for the last 5 days. Yeah. And it's nighttime now. Alright, I think it's a good place to stop. Let's see. What has happened? Basically, I guess, we're in epilogue status again. So, there's this, evidently people kind of have seen her before, I guess, because there's a legend about her, which is pretty cool, right? Think about it. If you're the subject of a legend, that's pretty nice. And yeah, so she's like a little, I don't know. She's like those kids that you see in like those old timey, like, not old timey, but like in the RPGs, in like the medieval ones, right? And you go to a town and there's always like some random kid who's like a thief and like steals stuff from you. Yeah, she's like one of those guys. She just steals food, right? She's not there to like, well, maybe she'll steal some money, but you don't have any money on you. She just steals food just to survive and all that stuff. And so we really haven't gotten much of her story quite yet. And so hopefully hopefully the next installment we'll have some more information about this cat girl. So until then, thank you for watching. Bye.